because the government is not ready to end the pervasive level of insecurity. If the Nigerian state, like I said, is ready, then it will end. And that's why, like I said before, Oji, this talk about don't say President Tinubu should resign. When all of this was happening under Jonathan, did President Tinubu call for his resignation? He did.
All right.
If you violate a constitutional requirement, should I not call for a resignation? I should. Section 14 of Section 2 talks about the security of lives and property being in the hands of the state. If the head of state violates that by not providing security for the people, what has he done? Has he not violated the constitution? It's not grounds for him to resign.
All right. Well, meanwhile.
And President Tinubu, see, the title of the commander-in-chief, on easy head lies the head that wears the crown. You were so bold to call Jonathan all sorts of names. And we supported you because we said that's the role of the opposition. But today, if we speak and call you names and say do the needful, protect people, your people will be shouting, oh, you don't have the rights. They will write flowery English to be abusing us. But we supported you when you were calling Jonathan names. The sad part is people like them, Dr. Abati, that was on the receiving end. Dr. Abati, which name did you even call people that used to abuse Jonathan that time? Children of perdition, or what name did you call them? Because you were the one that was abusing them then. But they called Jonathan names and we supported you, President Tinubu. Your supporters even went ahead, carried a coffin and wrote Jonathan on the coffin while President Jonathan's mother was still alive. But today, if we talk now, your people will be calling and say we talk too much. They will be calling at the back. Don't say, don't call for his resignation. Don't call for it. Do something about it. That's what we are saying. That's all we want. Right. Do something about this level of insecurity. And Dr. Abati, with due respect, I totally disagree with that talk. Insecurity has been there before President Tinubu come. He didn't know insecurity was in ground before he went to vie for presidency.
All right.
So, who is the president of ground? Is it me? Who is supposed to do the work? We should not be giving excuses like that for him. Right. He knew what he was going into before he went into it. As long as he's there, the day he leaves power, we will talk to the other person that is president and we ask him questions.
All right, fine.
If he's president, who is not president, do you think I will disturb him and be talking about security? It's because he's president. So we take everything.
All right, my heart goes out.
God. I always like this full fire. You go on you go on holiday since you don't come back with full fire. Yesterday when you resume, so you give it to Abati. Today now you disagree, you give it to her. I know Abati is just somebody who want to be diplomatic in his comment. Everything is not about constitution law. See, there are something you just need to hit the nail on the head. Just say it the way it is. Drop your submission. Be very objective with your submission. Let the person know. You see, this is the country where we find ourselves. When we decided to support these people, be it good or bad, we are still supporting them. That is it. I know about it. Once in the government, he was with government, Jonathan's government as a spokesperson. He still thinks he's still in government today. Or I don't know if you want to go back or if you want Tinubu to recognize it. I understand you're a doctor or Dr. Abati, you're a lawyer or whatever. Sometimes it is not. You just need to say the way it is. Let these people know what they are doing right, what they are doing. I know sometimes you disagree, sometimes you say you go against the government, but hey, it's not like that. If Tinubu can call Jonathan for resignation, what is the difference? Just like this, I'll call him idiot. Buhala, lie person says the parameters, is it parameters? The language he used, that it is different. He said it was all right for them at that time for Tinubu to call for Jonathan resignation. At that time it was all right based on constitution, based on what was happening then. But this time it has changed. It is not all right for for anybody to call for Tinubu resignation. In what sense? Somebody should make sense. So what was good 10 years ago, or how many years ago, it is not good today. And since then till now, constitution has not been changed, neither amendment. But yet, it is not good. Do you understand? So can you imagine? Yeah? A lot of things. Tinubu has failed. It is the president. We need to call his name day and night until the problem is solved. Two things. Either you solve the problem until the problems are being solved, or until you leave office. If another person comes in, takes over power, we continue to shout the person's name. That is it. So we cannot be calling another person's name while Tinubu is in the government. You see, he's not bigger than anybody. He's not bigger than anybody to call his name. He once said that today, the reason, the problems you claim you were advocating, you were fighting for, then the problem under your leadership, it has tripled down. And yet, people are scared of calling your name to solve the problem that you created, because you are part of the problems. You were there in your presence. They imported you know everything about the importation of this insecurity, this banditry that have become a problem to this country today. Yet, somebody cannot call you. Anyways, please watch this video to the end. We'll come back and talk about it. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to this YouTube channel.
Ready. What's trending with the good news from Niger State? As 100 students of St. Mary's Catholic School who regained their freedom from abductors on Sunday are heading home. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has commended security agencies for securing their freedom. The students were received by Governor Umar Bago at the government house in Mina on Monday after they had spent 2 weeks in captivity. President Tinubu expressed joy over their safe return, but charged security agencies to ensure the swift release of the remaining 153 students and 12 teachers still in captivity. Well, here is the movement. The students were received at the government house in Mina.
We are just excited and we are happy that we've received 100 of these children, as you saw just a minute ago, and we want to thank the President, the security agencies, and every Nigerian that have been part of this recovery. And we are hopeful by the grace of God we'll get the remaining very, very soon.
We're glad to see these children have been freed. President Tinubu has also assured parents that both the federal and Niger State governments are working closely to reunite all abducted students with their families, and has charged the security forces to prevent future kidnappings and ensure schools are no longer soft targets for terrorists. Well, according to reports, the rescue followed intensified military operations, aerial surveillance across Niger, Kwara, and Kebbi states, and deployment of community hunters in the forest. Yet, no arrests were made. Let's take a reaction from on X. This person wrote, "How do these kids return without corresponding arrests or neutralization of the terrorists? How do you convince them to release the children without incidents? Your negotiating team must have a great power of conviction. Or are there some under-the-table transactions that the citizenry are privy to? I know that your government wouldn't pay ransom to terrorists. That would be gross irresponsibility. Of course, that's beneath you. But we, the ordinary citizens, are just curious as to how you're able to pull these negotiations through time and time again without incidents." I know that the Christian Association of Nigeria, in a statement on Monday, said it had not received official notification regarding the release of the 100 abducted students. The chairman of CAN Niger State chapter, Bishop Bulos Yohana, noted that while it would be cherry news to learn of the abductees' freedom, no information about their current whereabouts has been delivered to the grieving communities, raising questions about coordination between security agencies and key stakeholders in the release process. Now, we've seen this video, and the Niger State government has said that they're going to return the pupils to their family, I believe, hopefully after some sort of rehabilitation. We're glad, we're happy that our 100 young children are back home. Kudos to the security forces that helped to secure their release or freedom. But the question is still out there. Where are the terrorists who abducted these children? Where did they find them? Where are the remaining children?
Good question, Oji. And yes, like I said this morning, on the hearts of parents, well-wishers, loved ones, or anybody with a conscience or a heart, what you're looking at when you see a release like this is, thank God the children are back.
Yes.
Even though not all of them, we're told this morning 315 abducted, students and teachers, 50 escaped, 100 now rescued. So it means that 165, still more than those who were taken, are still in captivity. So first of all, let me say, thank God that they're back home. We are grateful to the security operatives and all those who were involved in their release. However, a bigger question would then be what we've been asking for, whether it be from Kebbi State or in Niger State, would be what kind of release is almost as if Nigeria is writing a new script on how rescue operations are conducted, in such a way that rescue operations are conducted where there are no arrests. We don't have an opportunity to have that peace of mind that this will not occur again because the perpetrators or the people behind this have been apprehended. And it means that people will wait with bated breath as to where would be the next location based on what their agreements are. I also think there's a suspicion around this phased approach, or shall I say batch approach, to the release of these students. Why is it that only a few have been released at this time? Why were they not all released at the same time? I cannot imagine the anguish. 2 parents, by the way, have died whilst waiting for the children. And when you look at the faces of how young they are, you can understand the trauma that the parents and the children must have faced in the 2 weeks since they've been in captivity. I believe that whilst we celebrate on one hand the fact that these children are back home, which is what we have been calling for, and salute the efforts of all the security stakeholders who secured their release, the bigger question, in order for us to have that assurance that we won't see a reoccurrence or that we are proactive, is an apprehension of the terrorists who abducted them in the first place, a full going through of the justice system, facing prosecution. If found guilty, let us see the penalties for that, because this also acts as a deterrent for those who might have an idea of going into this life of criminality and terrorism, not to do with that. If you dare venture into this, you will be caught, you'll be found out, and you will face the full wrath of the law. Unfortunately, that assurance is not there. Instead, it looks as if there's some form of negotiation. It's not just about payment of ransom. It's also the fact that it seems there's a similitude of negotiations happening, and this government has continued to maintain that they will not negotiate with terrorists. It means that somebody's lying.
All right,
Ayo, you're spot on. You asked the question, Oji, where are the terrorists? Please ask the government that knows them so well, that they romance themselves, that they call them on the phone to release people, that they can even give you blow-by-blow accounts of what is going on with the people kidnapped. But Oji, in this conversation, what we're not looking at is that things are so bad now in Nigeria that to be a child in this country is a sad, sad commentary. Do you know that it is children that are kidnapping these children? Have you seen the picture of some of the terrorists that were killed? Those that come on TikTok.
We've seen that.
They are children too.
They're young boys.
So what we have in this conversation, we have not even talked about the child soldiers that have emerged in Nigeria. Nigeria has now become a den for child soldiers.
Yes. And you know, former President Olusegun Obasanjo had raised that in one of his interviews, where he talked about how Gumi cried when he saw these young boys in the forest and they are drugged out. They have access to guns, they have access to drugs, and they have no future.
They're child soldiers. So it's a double whammy.
Yes.
We're saying they're kidnapping children, but it is the children, the future of this country, they're also kidnapping the children that they've misled, that they've destroyed their lives, that they have become terrorists today. In all of this, the government now said they've done a deal. They released people. What about the parents that died? So nothing will happen, right? The cycle will continue again. You will keep talking to them. They will kidnap again. You will release them. Just like we had the Kankara boys. It's not agreements.
Right.
Then we had the Dapchi. You will kidnap, they will release, and the government has not solved the problem.
All right.
Why is all of this happening? Because the government is not ready to end the pervasive level of insecurity. If the Nigerian state, like I said, is ready, then it will end. And that's why, like I said before, Oji, this talk about, don't say President Tinubu should resign. When all of this was happening under Jonathan, did President Tinubu call for his resignation? He did.
All right.
If you violate a constitutional requirement, should I not call for a resignation? I should. Section 14 of Section 2 talks about the security of lives and property being in the hands of the state. If the head of state violates that by not providing security for the people, what has he done? Has he not violated the constitution? It's not grounds for him to resign.
All right. Well, meanwhile, let's now turn our attention to reactions trailing the accusation leveled against Nigeria by the Confederation of Sahel States over the violation of Burkina Faso's airspace after a Nigerian Air Force aircraft carrying 11 people was forced to land in the country on Monday. In a video message, Mali's Minister of Security read out a statement by the Confederation of Sahel States condemning the violation of its airspace and the sovereignty of its member states. The Confederation described the incident as an unfriendly act carried out in defiance of international law and aviation rules, and threatened to place its air and anti-aircraft defenses on maximum alert with authorization to neutralize any violating aircraft, eliciting reactions. I'll take some posts next. This person wrote, "Emergency landing or not, detaining Nigerian military personnel is an unnecessary escalation. Issues like this are supposed to be resolved through swift military-to-military communication. West African countries must stop turning brothers into enemies. Today it's Nigeria, tomorrow it could be them. Diplomacy must lead, not ego." Another ex-user wrote, "We stand with our troops. Diplomatic channels must be respected, but unjust detentions aren't the way forward. Hoping for a swift, peaceful resolution and the safe return of our personnel." Now, Ayo, the Confederation of Sahel States is made up of Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, which formally exited ECOWAS in January following military coups and suspensions from the bloc. The Confederation says the Nigerian aircraft had an in-flight emergency in Burkina Faso's airspace and had to land, but the Nigerian plane had no authorization to fly over their territory.
So the official statement is signed by Air Commodore Ehimen Ejodame, who is the Director of Public Relations and Information. He had actually clarified what you already highlighted.
Yes.
So that was the official statement that they said they were on their ferry mission to Portugal yesterday, 8th of December, and following takeoff from Lagos, the crew observed a technical concern which necessitated a precautionary landing in Burkina Faso, which was the nearest airfield at the time. They also made it clear that this is in accordance with standard safety procedures and international aviation protocols. They also highlighted the fact that the NAV crew is safe and have received cordial treatment from the host communities. So, I mean, what we had said earlier on is that this is a statement, official statement from the Nigerian Air Force, and then there are stories around that they are being detained. According to this statement, they are not being detained. They received cordial treatment, and it was based on an emergency landing. Some of us have been in situations where planes planes developed issues or passengers on the flight had issues for commercial flights. In this case, it's a military flight where you have to find the nearest, strip to land. And this is what has happened. And I think for now, I'll stand with the official position of the Nigerian Air Force until proven otherwise. But this is what they have released this morning.
Okay, very well said, very well said. Well, now in Sokoto State, several reports indicate Nigerian security forces launched an operation around 9 a.m. in the Sabon Benin forest on Monday and successfully killed 7 terrorists. According to eyewitnesses, other terrorists escaped as troops moved to capture them. The troops worked in collaboration with farmers in Fadama, Tara, and local vigilantes on the successful mission. Well, in light of this, let's take a moment to highlight the Nigerian Air Force and their push in fighting back against terrorism.
I was built to be the best, #1 and nothing less. Lead me to my destiny.
Kidnappings and banditry, and it's good to see that our Nigerian military are doing what they're doing. They're even working with farmers and vigilante groups to secure the territory. Dr. Abati, a quick word before I go to Anambra State.
Well, just to commend the Air Force, anytime they do well, also the armed forces, generally, not just the Air Force. But I keep making the point that, they have a tough task.
Yes.
And they are overstretched. The Nigerian armed forces, they are overworked. Now, the president has directed that they should recruit more persons. And then also, there's also the directive that anybody that is due for retirement should not go on retirement, should just stay and take on this task. But we need more boots on the ground. We need more collaboration, interagency collaboration, which was why the new Minister of Defense, General Christopher Musa, was making that point about collaboration among the various agencies, and that's very important because we can't be using soldiers to do police work most of the time. So the attempt to upgrade the security agencies is very important. So when they do well, we praise them, but we should also not overstretch them.
Yes.
We should also pay attention to their welfare.
Right.
100 billion naira has been recommended, approved by the National Economic Council. That 100 billion naira should be well managed. Correct. So that there will be motivation. Ayo calls it the mindset, so that the mindset can be strong. Absolutely. For them to continue to serve. And training facilities and equipment should be made available. Yes. That is what is important.
Correct. And a quick comment in Burkina Faso, the story.
Okay, the situation in Burkina Faso, the press statement that Ayo read, that's exactly what the Nigerian government has said, that it was just a safety procedure. They were on their way to Portugal. But at the same time, it's good to hear that the authorities in Burkina Faso, they've been host, they've been very nice to our men. The thing is, the Alliance of Sahel States, they have exited ECOWAS in January, but you still have to continue to engage them.
Yes.
5 out of the members of ECOWAS are military rulers, but they are still within this space. And ECOWAS made some concessions about trade, about tariffs, but we hope that someday, it will be one happy community once again, as envisioned by the founding fathers of ECOWAS in 1975.
Well said, Dr. Vati, well said. Now to Anambra State, where residents of Isiokwe are on the edge after the wife of an Anglican pastor was killed on Sunday morning after gunmen attacked St. Andrew's Church and set the building on fire. An eyewitness said the gunmen appeared to have been targeting the pastor, Venerable Obese, who escaped. Well, here's a video of the aftermath.
Now, with this one, we have lost two vehicles now, and a machine, motorcycles. This is the pastor's house. I was burned down and raised to ashes. Jesus. This is the pastor's car. Burned down. Okochukwu's car. Burned to ashes and the building. It's quite unfortunate that at this time in our community, when we are trying to see that we gain back our community, things like this are happening. It's quite unfortunate.
Notified the police spokesman for Anambra State, Tochukwu Ikenga, confirmed the attack as well as the killing of the pastor's wife, adding that the police commissioner has condemned the attack and assured the families of the victims that the perpetrators will be tracked down and brought to justice. This is the police statements that we received, and this is the sort of statements that we see whenever such incidents occur. Rufai, my heart bleeds for this sort of stories that come out about these killings and burning down of churches.
So this also coupled with the killing in Lilu.
Yeah.
All right? The police will always say, we'll track down the perpetrators and break them down. How many have we tracked down? How many have we brought to book? How many of those that have perpetrated these heinous acts against people have been brought to book? The kidnappers that kidnap people in Kwara, have we brought them to book? Those that release these people, have we brought them to book? So you see, that's a massive level of insecurity. And I keep repeating this. For those that have ears, let them hear. I am worried. Because increasingly, in a state where it starts to look like the government does not have the autonomy of violence, a state must have the autonomy of violence more than any other actor. That's why you have all the paraphernalia of state. That's why you have heavy budgetary provisions for insecurity. That's why you have military officers that will also call for better funding. that should be able to go out there and bring the perpetrators to book. But in Nigeria, we hear of complicity. We hear of people not doing their work. We hear of one too many times people are getting away with murder. The question I would like to ask them is, how many of these people that perpetrate crimes like this have ever been brought to book? What is the list like? What is the number? So as long as we have these gaps, then President Tinubu, see, the title of the commander-in-chief, on easy lies the head that wears the crown. You were so bold to call Jonathan all sorts of names. And we supported you because we said that's the role of the opposition. But today, if we speak and call you names and say, do the needful, protect people, your people will be shouting, oh, you don't have the rights. They will write flowery English to be abusing us. But we supported you when you were calling Jonathan names. The sad part is people like them, Dr. Abati, that was on the receiving end. Dr. Abati, which name did you even call people that used to abuse Jonathan that time? Children of perdition, or what name did you call them? Because you were the one that was not abusing them then. But they called Jonathan names and we supported you, President Tinubu. Your supporters even went ahead, carried a coffin and wrote Jonathan on the coffin while President Jonathan's mother was still alive. But today, if we talk now, your people will be calling and say we talk too much. Oh. They will be calling at the back here. Don't say, don't call for his resignation. Don't call for it. Do something about it. That's what we are saying. That's all we want. Right. Do something about this level of insecurity. And Dr. Abati, with due respect, I totally disagree with that talk. Insecurity has been there before President Tinubu come. He didn't know insecurity was on ground before he went to vie for presidency.
All right.
So, who is the president on ground? Is it me? Who is supposed to do the work? We should not be giving excuses like that for him. Right. He knew what he was going into before he went into it. As long as he's there, the day he leaves power, we will talk to the other person that is president and we ask him questions.
All right, fine.
If he's president, who is not president, do you think I will disturb him and be talking about security? It's because he's president. So we take everything.
All right, my heart goes out to the family of the pastor's wife and the pastor. We hope that, there will be some succor for that family, and we'll pray for her soul. May her soul rest in perfect peace. Now, I always say, it can't be doom and gloom. It cannot be doom and gloom.
It cannot all the time.
Well, all right. We'll take our good news report now, highlighting Africa's richest man, Alhaji Aliko Dangote's incredible commitment to Nigeria.
Leaders like himself.
You see, up till today, I am still trying to understand the meaning of Nigeria. I don't understand the meaning of Nigeria. I'm still trying to understand. I don't think Nigeria is not a dictionary, apart from being a geographical location. Nigeria is not a dictionary to understand the real meaning of Nigeria. The only thing we understand about Nigeria is Nigeria, the name was coined from Niger River. Niger River. It was coined from derived from that Niger River. That's the only thing we can say about Nigeria. And then put together according to history, 19th century, when this woman, British woman, Flora Shaw, named the name Nigeria. We need to ask a lot of questions, because there's a reason why this country is not working and is not going to work, and reasons why the country itself is not even ready, and the kind of people that comes into power, they are just there. They are not ready to do anything. They are not ready, nothing. They just want to sit there in the affairs of power, do nothing with it, and just to claim the glory that comes with the power, the benefits, without letting it go round to people who actually deserve this. I don't understand Nigeria. No, something is wrong somewhere. And if we do not get to the root of this problem, what is wrong with Nigeria, we cannot solve the problem. How can you tell me over 200 students? Because we look at it, is normal now. We don't move on, right? The only reason now why this issue is coming up again, because now hundreds of them has been rescued according to them. This student, hundreds of them have been rescued. If not, 2 weeks now that this student has been rescued. Everybody talked about it on social media. You analyze, do your analysis. It is okay. Everybody moved on. Everybody moved on. And I bet you, of this remaining 100 or 100 or something remaining, I don't think all of them will be rescued before the next 2 years until Tinubu leaves office. I don't think so. Anyways, I hope they were able to prove me wrong. I will not be certain about that. I hope they were able to prove me wrong. Here is the thing. How can we say we have security agencies, we have military, we have police, we have all of them, Air Force, naval officers, all of them put together? Over 216 students, they will adopt these numbers of students in one day in school. With these children, so-called bandits we see on social media every day, yet we cannot arrest these people. These people we don't know their location. We don't know where they are, but we can hear that these students, hundreds of them, has been rescued. Where were they rescued? Where were they kept? We don't know. What was the conditions? We don't know. No. According to Bayo Nanogayes, he said he doesn't want to share the modus operandi with Nigerians, how they rescue those people. We don't know how you guys rescue them. If people ask questions, no answers to these questions. Ransoms being paid, they said no, they deny. Yet nobody has been arrested. And you want us to believe that no ransom was paid because we are foolish in this country. If APC's members are foolish, I'm not one of them, I'm not foolish. But there's nothing you can do, be foolish and not foolish, because there's nothing you can do. It looks as if every one of us are foolish in this country because no action has been taken against this ruling party who have come to cause pain, problem, agony, sorrow to the citizens of this country. Since APC, since Tinubu resumed office, it has become problem upon problem. Problem upon problem. Yet no, if anybody talks about government, it becomes a problem. Rather than looking for the solutions, they go after the person. How do you explain to me over 200 and something students, kidnapper will come from nowhere, kidnap these people? When if you go, where do they follow? In the east here, our place here, from here to here, you see a police checkpoint, military checkpoint, as if we are the problem of this country. The northerners, where there is problem in security in this country, you can travel as far as wherever you want without police checkpoint, without military checkpoint. There, people will come with numbers of vehicles, over 20 vehicles, because for you to have adult over 200 students, and these students, they are not adults. All of them, I don't think there's anyone above 18 years, or I don't think there's anyone above 20 years, which you can easily control. You know, children, how difficult it is for you to control children. So you just come. These people, okay, they order these children, wake them up, and they were even sleeping. No, they wake them up, ask all of them to go. They comply with them. No shout, no pull, even no. Something is wrong with Nigeria. No, something is wrong. Now they are now releasing them, rescuing them batch by batch. Batch 1, batch 2, as if people who want to gain admission to university, they will say, wait for your turn. This batch, because they can't release all this lot at once. You're okay, man, first, wait for the next batch. It is not like that. Rescue, kidnapper, you negotiate with them, they release some to you. What was the condition? No, you can't tell us. Nobody has been arrested, nothing. And you expect these people to say you are working this insecurity to stop? No. It's not going to stop. You are only prolonging the evil day because we did the same thing yesterday. It's the same thing. These people will have the mind, the audacity to go to a school and kidnap over 200 students and keep these people in their captivity. Students live and wake up with guns. People smoking all manner of drugs. They ask them not to talk. For me, I don't think these children. No, I don't think these children, they were inside bush up till this time. No, the northerners have a lot of questions to answer. Yes, if nobody talk, I will talk. These leaders in the north, they have questions to answer. They have this country apology. For the problem they caused to this country, they have this country apology. These children, they are not in the bush. I said it, the bandits are in the bush. These children are not in the bush. See the way they came out from the bush. Children who you say you kidnap with their own, they feed them, they give them clothes. They feed them, I know they feed them, they give them food, obviously they don't want them to die. They give them clothes to wear, start changing. They didn't come back with the same uniform they wore to school. These children are in that same city. Even if they just took these children from their school to their neighboring village, not in the bush, they inside house. Except you want to tell me bandits, they have house inside bush, inside forest that our military do not know. That is the only thing. If not, these children, they inside house. They within the city where they say people are living. How? What are you telling me? Which house you build, which camp you build for inside bush when you keep over 200 people inside? Children for that matter. Inside bush. No. Not talk. See where we are today. Not talk. See where we are. Now, release, rescue these people. You are now rescue them batch by batch because the condition given to federal government, it is too much. You can't meet the condition at all. The money involved is too much. Now you are using money to prolong the evil day. If we had dealt with these people yesterday, by now we wouldn't have been talking about this because this insecurity, this has become a multi-million naira industry or $billion industry that people are, is a lucrative business that people do not want to let go. They are just endangering the life of innocent people. Can you imagine? Now, you expect people to start rejoicing that Tinubu government is doing well. Tinubu has rescued over 200 people, yet no single arrest has been made. No gunfire, no shot, no riot in the bush, exchange of gunfire with bandits and military. You just go with 200, you just go, you talk to them on the phone, they release them. Come on, APC, Mona, stop taking people for granted, Joe. What's the meaning of that? Come on, Mona, stop. Say, hey. Mona, stop taking people for granted. What's the meaning of that? We don't become a country of joke. Come on, man. Come on. Anyways, please share this video. This is what APC has brought to Nigeria, giving everybody reason. No, man. No. They should better do well. Please, Mona, do well. Change now. This game, this game, it don't expire. I mean, this format, it don't cast. Wanna come up with another one. Anyways, please share this video. What do you think? Please share this video and subscribe to this YouTube channel.